Alright, good morning ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Had to fight the sleep today. We did sleep early, but yeah, I think today might be silent today. Yeah. What's the plan today? Ah, fuck. Today's plan is pretty simple. Stairs, dips, Alpha 3 regime, maybe some food, but we have a dinner tonight, so today's food's not going to be very accurate. Not accurate at all. And then edit cracked IELTS highlights. And then, yeah, that's about it. Probably make a video today, maybe stream, no idea. It's kind of annoying because we're trying to breathe with our nose, but that's getting a bit blocked by some morning snot. Well, it's not like we have snot, but it's like it's blocking my airway. When I have window noses like this, it's blocking my airway to breathe, which forces me to use the mouth. There you go. I blew my nose for a brief second. See if that worked or not. No, it's kind of annoying. The nose is a bit blocked, so it makes it so we can't really breathe with our nose properly. Yeah, again, though, stairs burn cardio. Oh no, stairs burn calories way faster than the treadmill. Okay, what I'm doing right now is using my mouth to breathe in and my nose to exhale. For some reason, my nose right now doesn't want to inhale air, but at least it allows air to go out. So it's like one way. Okay, I'm literally just practicing breathing right now with my nose, trying to get this blocked nose out the way. So technically today's a cheat day. It sure is. Now, due to editing, you cannot see what I see, but yeah, I said this before. If you're a if you're a woman, it's like the worst time to go out at night to train. I guess they are lucky or grateful that they're in a somewhat safe country. But yeah, not worth it. Don't do it. Huh? They're finally gone. So I just used magic editing to cut them out in the background. Never mind. The woman was like 30 plus, I think. So it doesn't even matter anymore. It looks a lot younger, but whatever. Yeah, like I said, everyone, don't come to the gym early. I don't really see a point. But I guess if you're like mid 30s, then no one's gonna really care, right? It's only if you're young that it's dangerous. But if you're kind of like, you know, what does the Gen Z people say? Aunt? If you're aunt, then no one really cares. Because why would they go for an aunt when there's a whole bunch of new ones? You know? That's uh, Gen Z language for you, right? Aunt, uncle, and aunt. Is that Gen Z or is it a lower generation? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, today's golden hour is kind of chilling. I guess we're talking now. We spent like 10 to 15 minutes a bit quiet, but my nose is actually unblocked now. That's good. And two people nearby left. So now we got a golden hour pretty secured. Sure is. Very secured. But there's nothing to talk about. I mean, yeah. There's literally nothing to talk about. Yep, at 20 minutes the treadmill. No, not treadmill, the stair machine slows down. But I caught it in time. Sorry, there's like literally nothing to talk about today. Anyway, I might be starting a new ARC series. Also, apparently there's going to be hunting and fishing tomorrow. But I need to make a plan. I don't even know what to choose. What do I want to target? Should really do research on how the tides work. And it's going to be incoming as well. So what am I supposed to do? I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't think I'm planning to set things up. Okay. I sort of found a plan. Probably going to go to the Macintosh and use soft bait. Yeah, it's going to be incoming tide, so most likely small kahawai will be coming. Additionally, potential trout near the edges, and I guess we could also bring like another rod as well for fun. And I mean enough fun for bait rod. Could also bring a bait rod as well. Okay, I'm gonna go sit with that up today later on. Anyway, is anything else to say? Not really. All I gotta do is just edit Earthlog and correct IOs because I already did the timestamp last night. Okay, I'll be honest. The timestamping on ARC episodes are a lot more lazier. I'll admit that. You can tell the differences, right? The earlier timestamps had a lot more detail, but now the timestamps are a bit more wider and bigger, a bigger range, right? But at the same time, that's because I'm increasing the highlights quality. So I realized that, instead of making the timestamps more detailed, I'll just save the details for the highlights. So that's kind of the reason why. Plus the long versions, people put me in the background, you know? They're not looking for the exact details. Well, I know that definitely in the future we're going to be traveling and exploring a lot. I really probably do need a camera person, huh? Maybe. Solo filming should be pretty easy as well. As much as I like using Deep Blue, I have a suspicion that actually I don't know. Look, I don't even vlog myself in public, as in like I never film myself out of like the city. No, no, no. I never, vlog in the city or the malls. Perhaps it's because I never go to the mall to begin with. Like that. What the hell's outside, anyways? There's nothing outside for me. I don't go to parties or anything. Then that's not my ecosystem. You know what I mean? If I go outside, I'm going outside for nature and fish and adventure, right? I'm not going outside to be with a group of people, the ants. You know? Like, why would I do that? Especially in the weekend. Why would I go when everyone else is out? To what? Go shopping? Shopping for what? What am I buying? What can I get? Can I just go? Can I just get online? You know, having to find parking, drive all the way there. What? What else am I supposed to do? Eat food? There's no good food there, especially with our macros. Like, well, what's the point? It's not our ecosystem, unfortunately. It's not our ecosystem, and that's it. But I'm sure in the future when we're traveling like a different country, maybe this is brand new, but I'm sure I get bored of it. I'm sure I get very bored of it. It's probably not going to be very any different. Same kind of food. No, not food, but same kind of layout, right? Shops and food, and that's it. I don't know. Not sure what that ending of the Steelers was about. Looks like Golden Hour was doing pretty good. As always, the stats are pretty normal. 300. No, 112. Yep. Same thing. Exact same stats. I must say that we are very wet. feel very wet. No spare shirt, but that's because we are doing dips. We're really not going to be leading on anything. As much as it's going to hurt, I'm thinking of sacrificing. If we're going to go bait fishing, I'm thinking of sacrificing a can of mackerel, like the ones we eat. It's going to cost. Eh, it is going to cost like $30, but I'm sure the burley would work quite well. We do kind of waste the oil. You know, when I eat the mackerel, I just pour it and rinse it. But it would make excellent burley. Do I want to test it out today? That's why I usually just say when I have nothing to say, yo, what's good? Shut up. What did I just say? I'm not even sleepy. Just straight up mumbling. Anyways, like today's usual, we're gonna be doing the dips again, yet again. As always, gonna be here for a bit. Alright, I've thought of the idea I want to do today or tomorrow. We're basically gonna be, okay, this is moisturized. Some woman touched it. How do I know it's a woman? Well, what kind of man wears moisturizer to the gym? Yeah, definitely. Okay, anyways, I have a plan on what I want to do today or tomorrow morning. I've got an idea, but it's going to sacrifice a can of fish, unfortunately. The plan is pretty simple, right? Use a can of mackerel as burley. I'll be using a different van if I want to do the style of fishing I want to do. Basically, I'm going to have to deploy my trolley cart. Yeah, specially designed for its bait fishing purposes. I know a spot. Actually, I know multiple spots. There's so many spots. I should really check like the wind speed or something. But I've got a good idea of what I'm gonna do. Gonna have to just, yeah, it's fine. Okay, got a good idea what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Now I'm gonna go to the secret spot that I've caught two brown trout before with bait. I've caught eels there as well. It's a really good spot. I'm gonna be using a burley. I'm gonna be sacrificing a can of mackerel, and I'm gonna be using the bait trolley, right? No, not bait trolley, the bait fishing trolley. I'm gonna have around 2 to 3 rods ready. So 2 to 3 bait rods, because I'm not gonna be fishing alone. I'm also gonna have a mini soft bait rod set up as well because I had a friend who caught a massive flounder there once somehow with a soft bait. So I mean I've caught brown trout there as well. So it's like a goodie place, you know. So yeah, trout and flounder has been caught there before. We know the strategy, so yeah, that's gonna be the plan. I'm just gonna have to set up a whole bunch of mini rods. Is there anything else to say? Yeah, so that's kind of the plan tomorrow. Or I could also do the plan today as well. I can always do a pre-test plan. Also, there is one spot, but also I do remember that. I mean, yeah, we're probably just gonna go to that secret spot that I'm gonna, yeah, most likely we're gonna go to that secret spot because I've actually caught fish there before. But I do remember last year when I used the drone, I spotted a massive flounder in the Waimak River, and I know the exact spot where I was swimming past. Where the water was crystal clear, and it's a pretty good place to surf fish. Not surf fish, but it's a pretty good place to put bait. Only problem is that no, it's not really a problem. I could get there. It's just that when I was using the drone, I only scouted brown trout and flounder there. Most likely, we will catch a lot of eels. But the secret spot we go to is not private. Matter of fact, there's a lot of people there. Anyways, is there anything else to talk about besides talking about my plans? Nah, you guys probably gonna need a story video today then. 100%. I mean, the only reason I haven't been doing a story, I didn't do a story video yesterday. didn't do a story video today. I think it's because I've been uploading like multiple videos recently. A lot of series. We did that like 6 hour Overwatch kind of run, and I created like 3 videos. I could have separated into more, but I mean for cracked hours I've done like nearly 5 hours once, so it's not really a big deal. Should probably live stream the Overwatch instead. Yeah. What else is there? What else is there? Yeah, I'll still give you guys a story video today. But no, we have been recently uploading. Sometimes we do like 3 videos a day, but that's because of multiple series. Yeah, I do want to also try Aquatica out today. No, I don't know, not today. Maybe today. Probably today. I do want to try out the new Arc series. There's nothing else to do in Correct Hours, so yeah. But I mean, you guys probably, by the time this Earth log even is published, I'll probably be, you guys will probably see the first highlight of Aquatica first, anyways. I'm gonna go in the raw with zero. I'm gonna go in it raw with zero, you know, zero knowledge. Water's nearly done, so we can check the weight. Did I even check the weight yesterday? Check the weight. Yeah, but that macro barrel strategy is definitely gonna attract a lot of fish. Hey, is there anything else to talk about? I mean, for the series, we have dropped a lot, but we also recovered a lot. we didn't drop, we dropped Overwatch, but we recovered it, and it did good. I think it's because we're just naturally talented. Joking. I think it's just because we are a past gamer, so we have decent aim. Kind of. Yeah. Aquatica is probably going to be the next map because I feel like if we go to like Ragnarok or Lost Islands, it's going to be a bit too repetitive. Should probably give it a break and try something completely different. Is there any more series? We could do more horror stories, no horror video games as well. I haven't been watching any YouTube lately on the horror genre, so there might be some good ones that we haven't tried before, seen before. That's the thing about being a creator. You can't watch other people's creators or then you're gonna spoil yourself. You'll spoil yourself on the content, you know? So just don't watch other people's content so you could have your own raw reaction to the game. A place has gone quiet. The sound barriers have been turned off temporarily, and what that usually means is just the music's gone. No problem. No problem at all. Oh, the water's on, by the way. Sound barrier is also back. Excellent. Oh, so today's plan is pretty simple now. I know what to do. The only thing I need to check is if I should go solo today. We could go solo today as well. I don't know. I feel like we should be live streaming today instead. Yeah. I need to check the weather first. I need to go check the weather first. But yes, I think that's kind of about it, huh? I mean, we could go to the pier. No, not today. Not today. I have nothing prepared. We did go to the pier like a couple days ago. The only reason we didn't continue was because the waves were just too big. Wait, I literally edited a video today. No, yesterday I literally edited that video as well. I don't know. I kind of just, when I have a bunch of raw footage, I kind of just lock in, edit it all, done. I'm basically just the editor for myself. I work for myself. But I know in the future, the efficiency is going to be a lot better because all we have to do is really just record ourselves and then hire like an entire team of editors to just do my videos, right? And it'll save me time, but I have to use money. But at the same time, I like the raw. Technically, though, I could literally spend a whole bunch of money on hire editors, right, for videos, but I like the raw journey growth. I like the raw journey growth as like I want to grow with the channel. And then of course once we reach a certain limit, then I'll start like scaling, right? So I like the raw kind of journey, you know? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And a journey it has been. You know, our weight journey has been like up and downs. It's great. You know, overeating calories, eating the peanut butter sandwich, to like starving, to like eating under calories, and but we still perform every day. We've also done like running running until like our heart dies, or going fast, making records, just chilling. You know, only thing we haven't really done is like make like a PR for weights. I think it's because I think people have realized that we've been doing mainly light to medium weights. We don't really go heavyweight. Most likely because Alpha 3 regime is the one that builds the actual frame because it's calisthenics to a degree. Alright, let's go check our weight and then we are done. That's actually a lot faster. I think it's only faster because we were talking a lot today. That's good. Alright, we're gonna go check our weight and then get out of here, right? What's the weight? What are we, 71? We were 70.6 yesterday. 70.45. So like same as usual. Usually we do the outro somewhere else. This is like the first time we're doing the outro here. The only reason is because we were surrounded by people without headphones. So the sound barrier, and they're watching me as well. So walked all over here to end it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate it again. I guess I give you guys a story video. We haven't done a story video in a while. Last time we tried to do a story video, but instead I just showed you guys how I edit things raw. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys probably enjoyed that. Alright. Appreciate it. See you guys next time. Yeah, so yeah, by the time you see this video, the fishing video is probably going to be already out. I'll see about it. But first of all, let's just, yeah, bye-bye. Appreciate it again. Bye. Wait, why do you say bye like that? Isn't that kind of gay if you go,
Test, test, test. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Story Time. Yeah, today's morning, I can't remember what I said. I think this morning wasn't much special. I think we were just really quiet on the stairs. So, I'll give you guys story 2 of this true deep woods horror thing. Today, we're going to do a live stream as well. So, yeah. Lock in.
My name is James. This happened maybe 7 or 8 years ago, back when I was in my early 20s and still doing stuff that I probably shouldn't have been doing. I had this friend Charles who was kind of notorious in our friend group for finding cool places to explore, like abandoned buildings and old factories. If it was somewhere you weren't supposed to be, Charles had probably already been there and can tell you exactly how to get in. He spent a weird amount of time on Google Earth and these niche urbex forums, and he'd always be hitting the group chat with screenshots of random places he wanted to check out. Most of us would entertain his ideas, but never actually follow through. I was usually the exception. Charles and I had been friends since high school, and I think the reason we got along so well was that we had similar thresholds for risk. While most of our friends would hear his pitches and go, "That sounds insane," I'd hear them and go, "When are we going?" It was a dynamic
W friend right there. W friend right there, you know?
Led to some great memories and a few situations that I look back on now and genuinely wonder how we made it out unscathed. This story is about one of those situations.
Sorry, I shaved. I look really weird.
One weekend, Charles texted me about a fire lookout tower he'd found deep in some forest not far away from us. I really wish I could remember the name of the forest, but I can't. Charles said it had been decommissioned years ago and was just sitting out there in the middle of nowhere, completely untouched. He didn't tell me how he'd found it, but I didn't want to know. He was convinced we could hike out to it, climb it, and spend the night up there. I was more skeptical. I mean, things like that are usually fenced off or at least protected somehow, but I promised him I'd at least come and check it out. To be fair, the idea of being 70 feet or so up in the middle of a forest with a 360-degree view sounded incredible to me. We picked a random weekend and made it happen. Charles planned the entire thing out, including the drive, what to pack, and how to find the tower once we were in the woods. It was a 3-hour drive away, and Charles told...
What do you mean by close to us? 3 hours. It's close to us. What do you mean by it's close to you?
Told me the hike would be off the trail, but pretty short, about 4 miles or so. We drove out early in the morning on Friday and made it into the woods sometime in the afternoon. For some reason, I was kind of expecting us to get lost, or at the very least not find the tower, which is exactly why I was all the more astonished when we actually did. Seeing it through the trees for the first time was an insane sight. I remember blurting out "no fucking way" when I saw how tall it was. I was even more astonished when we got to the base of it and realized it was completely unprotected or fenced off. It was just sitting there in the middle of the woods waiting for us to find it. The cab at the top was this small, square room with windows on all 4 sides. There was a metal staircase that zigzagged up the frame, with a section of vertical ladder for the final stretch up to the cab. The whole thing looked like it hadn't been touched in decades. Some of the lower railings were bent or missing, and there was graffiti on the support beams near the base. To be completely honest, it did not look like the type of structure anyone would be eager to climb, but Charles was practically giddy. While I was hesitating and debating whether I should try convincing him to back out, he had already started climbing. I yelled at him to be careful, and that got him to slow down. I figured what the hell, and told myself to stop bitching. The 2 of us made our way up carefully, checking the stairs as we went. Most of them felt solid enough, but there were a few spots where the bolts had rusted through and the steps wobbled. The vertical ladder section near the top was the sketchiest part. It was 20-something feet of straight climbing with nothing but a narrow metal cage around it. The adrenaline rush was insane, but that's what Charles lived for. He made it up without any issues. The view from the cab was unreal. You could see for miles in every direction. We had also timed it perfectly. The sun was maybe an hour from setting. Our plan was to camp out for the night and catch the sunrise. There was a decently wide wraparound walkway up there, which is where we decided to chill, at least initially. We cracked a few beers and just enjoyed the view and some conversation. The sun eventually went down, and the sky went from orange to purple to dark blue in a matter of minutes. Once the light was gone, the forest below us was just a black mass in every direction. There wasn't a single light in sight. The stars were...
You know, if you can get up there, someone else can, right? Did you go inside?
incredible, easily the best I've ever seen. But being alone out there in the dark was freaking me out a little. It was just weird not being able to see anything, despite knowing there was a whole forest below us. Charles could tell I was getting a little antsy, and he started messing with me, grabbing my shoulder and stuff like that. But the thing that pissed me off the most was when he smacked his metal water bottle against the side of the tower. It sent this incredibly loud, echoing clang in every direction, probably to be heard for miles. The sound was so loud and ominous that I actually got mad at him. I told him I wanted to go inside the cab, and he finally got the hint. There wasn't much in there, by the way. It had clearly been hollowed out ages ago. He said he was going to finish his beer before coming in and joining me, and I was fine with that. I picked a random corner and started setting my sleeping stuff up. But before I could finish, he told me in a very quiet, serious voice to come back outside. Very un-Charles-like. So I did. I walked back around to where he was sitting and saw that he was pointing diagonally downwards, toward the forest below us. At first I thought he was just messing with me again, but it only took me a few seconds to realize what he was pointing at. There was a light down there. It was faint and pretty far away, but it was definitely down there, and it was genuinely horrifying. It was weaving through the forest at what seemed like walking pace, and my first thought was that it was a person who'd heard the clang from the tower.
Probably.
I don't know why I felt the urge to whisper, but I did. I told him he was stupid for doing that, and we were probably moments away from getting caught or arrested or something. He looked at me with this confused expression before saying, "You think that's a person?" Now
Huh?
it was my turn to be confused. What the hell was he talking about?
What do you mean?
I asked him what else it could be, and he said that light was moving way too evenly. He wasn't exactly wrong. The light wasn't swinging or wobbling the way you'd expect someone carrying a lantern or flashlight to be. But then again, it was probably too far away to tell. I didn't say anything after that. Neither did Charles. He just kept staring at this mysterious light as it continued weaving through the forest. Part of me thought it was just some random hiker that had nothing to do with us, but I knew that was wishful thinking. After a few minutes, it was obvious that the light was getting closer. It was also much clearer that the light was moving perfectly.
Camp the ladder. Camp it. You got the advantage. Not gonna lie, you got the advantage. You know what I mean? You got the advantage. You got the high ground. You got the high ground. Shake the ladder when they come nearby, or like throw something at him. You know? Spit at him. I don't know. But like, you've got the high ground. You do have the high ground, so take advantage of that, right? It's much more risky for them to climb up while you're up there versus you climbing up where they like you can camp them, you know what I mean? Obviously they heard the clang sound, so they're probably gonna come towards the tower. They probably are coming towards the tower. You camp it, right? You gotta camp it. You gotta camp it. Protect yourself, right? Remember, the most dangerous thing is another human, so yeah, you better camp it.
Like it was floating or hovering. Charles asked me what we should do, and I didn't have an answer for him. There wasn't really anything we could do. Like, what were we gonna do? Climb down?
Yeah, true.
As we were throwing out more theories, the light suddenly zipped forward, like it skipped a beat. It was really thick, but for a split second that light went from steady, even movement to an abrupt zip forward. Then it was back to steady movement again. I started feeling my palms start to sweat, and I could tell Charles was really freaked out too. I kept trying to convince myself that whoever was down there was just wandering aimlessly.
Again though, like what can you do though, right? You ain't gonna get down the tower. There's no point of going back down the tower. You might as well just camp it, right? There's only one entrance. There's literally only one entrance point, so you literally have the advantage. Sure, you have to stay up all night, but so do they. I mean, they could just camp you. They could camp you from coming down, but you could also camp them from coming up. I'm sure there's like cell service, right? Y'all did y'all mention about anything about like phones and stuff? You know?
Through the wood.
Again, the scenario could be pretty bad though, right? It really depends. If it's like a person with a gun, then they can camp you and you're gone, right? But it does really depends.
But again, wishful thinking. They were definitely heading for the tower, and after about 10 minutes, they reached it. At that point, the light was directly below us, and I was bracing myself for someone to yell up to us and announce themselves as police. But no, the light just stopped moving and stayed in that
Well,
exact
I mean, if it's the police, then you should be like much safer, right? Versus a random human, maybe. Again, police officers can be corrupt as well. You never know.
spot right below us. From our vantage point straight above, we could see the light itself, but not whoever was holding it. Charles and I stared at it for a while. The suspense was killing me, but it must have been killing Charles even more.
Hey,
Because
who's
he
it?
again did something I wanted to throw him off the tower for. This guy actually yelled, "Hey, are you good?" down at the light, revealing our presence. I looked at him in horror. I genuinely couldn't believe he would do something so stupid.
What's wrong with that?
We didn't get a response though.
You got the high
light
ground.
didn't even move. We waited a little bit, and then Charles yelled down again,
Oi!
but still nothing. So there we were, 70 feet up in an abandoned fire tower in the middle of nowhere, with someone or something blocking our only exit. We were completely trapped. We must have watched that light for 30 minutes straight, whispering to each other every so often. It never moved once. I wasn't worried about being secretive anymore. Charles had burned that bridge a long time ago, so I did something I should have done a while ago. I grabbed my flashlight and aimed it straight down at the base of the tower. But even after I did that, I still couldn't see the source of the light. Eventually, we accepted that there was nothing we could do and tried to go back to what we were doing.
What do you mean?
We went back to talking, but I made sure I never took my eyes off that light for more than a few seconds.
Okay.
Charles thought it was some kind of LED that someone had placed there to mess with us, but who the hell would bother doing that? At some point, Charles said he was going to climb down and check it out.
What?
And I told him that was insane.
I don't know about that one.
Not only was that inviting trouble, but it was downright stupid and dangerous.
Yeah.
As we were arguing about it, I glanced down and realized that I couldn't see the light anymore. There was just darkness and more darkness down there again. I frantically scanned the emptiness below us with my eyes, looking for the light, but it wasn't there anymore. Charles seemed relieved, but I was the opposite. He kept telling me to relax, saying whoever had been there had probably left, but I was more freaked out than I had been when the light was just sitting there motionlessly. The thought that someone could be down there, and now we couldn't even see them, was terrifying to me.
But you have the high ground and you could just wait till morning? Like, they should be more terrified than you, no? You've got the advantage. You literally have the advantage here. I don't understand what the problem is. It's harder for them to climb up than you to, you know, you got the high ground. What? I mean, you got the high ground, right? You can literally just like, once they reach them, just kick them back down, like camp the ladder, right? You have the advantage. Just wait until morning. Don't you have like a cell service as well? Also, it's like 2v1, no? Unless it's like a group. Also, if it's like nighttime, you could also hear them climbing up. So you got even more time to prepare. Right?
Charles reassured me that we'd obviously be able to hear if anyone tried to climb the ladder, which I guessed was true.
True.
But I was still really unsettled. Suddenly, I didn't want to be in the open air anymore. I suggested that we wait out the rest of the night from inside the cab.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's like the most retarded idea. Camp outside until... Yo, they're gonna go inside and then they're gonna like... GG. What are you doing? Why would you go back inside? You're gonna lose your advantage here. Oh, it's so over.
He agreed.
He agreed? Oh, GG, it's over. It's over. Why did you guys not... Why'd you go inside? Now you probably will... Someone's gonna appear. GG, it's so over. They're gonna go inside and then the person's gonna go up there. And by the time you guys notice, he's gonna be outside the door instead. Oh, it's so over. Why would you go inside? Take advantage. Camp the only way. Camp the only entrance. Why would you go inside and not... So over.
So we went inside and set up our sleeping bags. Neither of us were going to sleep though. That was suicide. Staying awake turned out to be the right decision, because not 20 minutes after going inside, we started hearing noises. The first ones were all metallic clangs that echoed up through the steel frame of the tower. They weren't footsteps, which I want to be crystal clear about, because I was listening specifically for footsteps, and this was not that. It sounded more like someone struck one of the support beams with a wrench or a crowbar.
What, are you gonna take it
A few
down?
minutes later, another one came. This one was more of a grinding sound, like metal being twisted against metal, and
What are they doing? Cutting down the tower? Is that what they're doing? You're cutting it down?
it lasted for a good few seconds before stopping. Charles and I kept looking at each other like we were expecting the other one to do something.
Also, don't you have like a flashlight? So why don't you just go back down and scan whoever's doing that?
But there was nothing we could do. The sounds kept coming from what sounded like different spots, which was what really got me, because it meant whatever was causing them was moving down there. The sounds continued on and off for a while. I kept trying to map out the sounds in my head,
But you have a
figure out where
flashlight.
they were coming from,
But you have a
how many
flashlight.
sources there were, whether they were getting closer or staying at the same level.
Why don't you just hop outside and
I
get the
couldn't make
flashlight?
sense of any of it.
Just go outside with the
Charles and I
flashlight.
were whispering to each other about what we'd do if we started hearing someone walking up.
Get the flashlight.
I was sitting against the far wall of the cab, facing the windows on the opposite side.
No, you camp the only entrance, which is the ladder. Camp the ladder. Just camp the ladder. You'll be good. Like the moment with the ladder, they have to grab it, right? Just step on their fingers the moment they come up. You got it's 2v1 as well, or 2v. There's only one entrance. You've got just camp the ladder and you're good. You got the high ground. You got the advantage. You literally have such a good advantage here. I don't understand.
Charles was on the opposite side, looking over my shoulder. There were so many windows in there that we didn't feel safe, and wanted to be able to see out of all of them.
Or just camp the entrance where the ladder is. Hello? You don't need to worry about the angles of the windows when you could just camp the only entrance. They're so dumb. It's actually crazy. It's like they're saying, but there's a window here, there's a window there, there's a window there. Brother, just camp the only entrance. You're in like, you got the high ground. Just camp the ladder, no? It's...
There wasn't much to see though. They were all pretty dark,
You have a
with the only
flashlight.
light being from the stars and the moon.
You have a flashlight.
Then I saw something. A dark outline moved across the glass. My brain couldn't process what I was seeing fast enough, but then it passed in front of the next pane over, and that's what did it. I couldn't help but yell, and Charles scrambled away from the window. The two of us immediately ran over to the door and pressed our backs against it. If someone tried to come through that door, they were gonna have to push through both of us.
This all could have been avoided if you just cammed a ladder. If you just cammed a ladder, no one...
I kept looking for the figure through the windows, but I couldn't see anything.
Let me guess, it probably wasn't, it's probably not even a human. It probably wasn't even a human, it's probably some kind of weird, mysterious thing. I don't know.
It's impossible, though. Unless they were crawling on all fours, I should have been able to see them. Charles and I sat up like that for a really long time, and I could hear him hyperventilating. What followed was the most tense and terrifying few hours of my life. Charles and I sat there in that exact position like our lives depended on it. By the time the sun started coming up, I was completely exhausted. When it was finally light enough to see, I counted to 3 and then swung the door open violently, expecting someone to be crouching behind it, but there was no one there. Charles and I ran around the side of it to confirm that, and it was clear. I looked down to the base of the tower, and there was nothing down there either. We grabbed our stuff and started descending as fast as we could. We made it about 3/4 of the way down the staircase before Charles stopped in front of me. He just stood on the landing, staring down at the next section of stairs.
It's all gone.
I looked past him and saw it immediately.
It's all gone.
An entire section of the staircase was gone.
Yep.
It wasn't just a few steps. I'm talking about an entire section of stairs, straight up missing. It was impossible, but we were staring at it. Someone had deconstructed an entire section of staircase during the night while we were sitting directly above them. That must have been what those sounds were, but that didn't make sense. The noises didn't stop until after I had seen the person up there. So had they really crossed that gap twice? In the dark? No way. Plus, there's absolutely no chance someone could have done that without us hearing it. That would have been a lot louder than a few clangs.
Well, you guys were inside as well. That's so dumb. You literally had the chance to go outside and just camp the outside. You had a flashlight too. You could have just seen him do it. You could have literally just yelled at him to stop. Matter of fact, I would have just grabbed the middle bottle and just hit it non-stop. I would have just grabbed the middle bottle and just hit the barrel non-stop. I'll make him go deaf. I'll be like, hey, you better stop that. Bing, 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 bing. And like make the whole entire forest just ringing non-stop. I'm gonna just do that until he buggers off or someone else comes, you know? Yeah, I might as well just do that, no? Grab the middle bottle and just start hammering the rail like non-stop, making a huge echo in the noise. But hey, if you don't stop, I'm not gonna stop either and just cause chaos, right? What they gonna do? I got the high ground. You know what? You got the middle bottle. Just don't come on the head if they come up, you know? They come up the ladder, they grab the ladder, poke your head out, boink, dead. Got him. 2v1.
Here and there. We stood on that landing for a while, trying to figure out what to do.
Get
We
down.
had to just jump across. It wasn't that far, but it was still scary. Charles ended up twisting his ankle, but I was fine. We
Tragic.
made it the rest of the way down, and that was that. There was no one waiting for us at the bottom. There was actually nothing there at all, including the metal steps that had been removed, at least as far as we could tell. Granted, we didn't look around too much. It didn't make any sense, but we weren't sticking around. I still don't have an explanation for any of it. Not the light, not the sounds, not the figure I saw outside the window, and definitely not how someone managed to remove an entire section of steel staircase in the middle of the night without us hearing it.
You heard it though. You literally admitted that you heard noises in the night. But you just didn't check it. So you can't say that you didn't hear it when you clearly heard it. You really can't say that. You really can't say you didn't hear them take the stairs off when you literally heard them make noise. Like, hello? You literally heard them. You literally sit in the store. You heard metal clanging. You heard metal grinding. So that's, you literally just heard them taking the stairs off. That's the only explanation.
Every time I see Charles, this is something we still talk about.
Shouldn't have camped in the inside. Why would you even go inside in the first place? Right? Like, Charles has the survival skills of a paper bag. Charles is the first person to get killed in a horror movie. You know you're in some deep shit when someone locks you in a cabin and throws a Molotov to burn you alive. Yeah, that's crazy one. Chao has zero survival instinct. Yo, why they blaming Chao? I don't know. Honestly, what Charles did isn't actually that bad. Like what did Charles did as bad? He confronted the light. He made a banging noise on the rail to attract everyone. I don't. I'm pretty sure going inside the cabin was the most stupidest mistake, and not checking it out, just hiding. Right? You had the high ground. You had the advantage. There's only one entrance way. You had a flashlight. Why would you go inside the cabin when you could just watch the ladder? Watch the ladder. You know? It's kind of like you have like a base, right? And instead of like confronting them at the gate, you go inside the house, and then now the house is it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you had the advantage. I don't understand why you would just hide further and lose your advantage, you know? I guess the only explanation going inside is what? Getting sniped? Possible? I mean, how would they know? You got such a good advantage. I don't know why would you leave the stairs? You're not gonna even get sniped either, because there's no way they can snipe you from above. I mean, like, unless they got like the rifle pointed right up the ladder, right? I don't know. The story 2 is like super weird. Like, why would you just don't understand why you would give it the position like that, and why you wouldn't scout and scan and like flash the light at them when they're making a noise. Instead, you hid inside. If it was me, I would have just got the middle one and just keep hitting the rail. I'd attract more people. Why not? I might as well get the whole entire cult to come get me. You know what I mean? Bang, 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 bang. You know, disturb the entire forest. Who knows? Maybe Bill will come, or maybe someone else. Maybe multiple factions come. You know, there's probably more than just one group in the forest, right? Just get everyone to come. You know? Honestly, if I heard like noise, if they heard, first of all, I would have got the flashlight, scan what's making that noise, and then if I see someone destroying the stairs, right, I would literally just start hitting the bottle against the rail and just be like, oh, bugger off, right? Or maybe invite them, maybe turn on them, be like, hey, come up here. You want to come up here? You know? Or you could always bluff and be like, I got a gun. If you don't do it, I'll shoot. Matter of fact, I mean, surely these two would have had a weapon as well, right? Like, I mean, sure, gun laws might not be the correct thing, but if you're gonna go into an abandoned building, at least like bring a knife or like some kind of weapon, no? Yeah. Also, Story 2 didn't even say anything about like a cell service. Like, was using a phone not a thing? Surely surely there would be like data there, right? Cell service in the fire tower. Unless it's like old, then maybe not. But still, like. Yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna watch the next story next time, right? That's like 25 minutes. That's sure enough for long enough. Yeah, alright, see you guys next time, right? I'm gonna do a Aquatica now, right? Yeah. Alright, bye-bye.